Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. If it's Tuesday night and it's 6 o'clock, it's time for All Things Brunswick. We welcome you to our show. My partner is with me today. Hello, partner.
Hi, Mary Stillwell here.
And our third person, Dan, is off tonight. Frankly, his problem is he's trying to do good things so Santa doesn't spoil him with coal. So he's too busy to come to do the show. He's out there trying to make up for a year of bad things.
These guys.
So we don't ever let up on that. So anyway, can you tell us who our guests are tonight?
I will be happy to. Tonight, we are happy to have Brunswick County TARS. We have the president, Isaac Souls.
Hello. Hello.
And we have the treasurer, Elizabeth Nutley. Welcome, guys.
Thanks
for having us.
First of all, for those people who don't know what TARS is, what is TARS? What does it mean?
So we are the teenage auxiliary of the Brunswick County Republican Party. Basically, any high school students who are from grades 9th through 12th can join our club. And so we are just the cool guys, but teenagers.
Awesome.
The modest, you left out that part.
Yes.
I think that what we'd like the folks to know this evening, that these two young people have worked very hard for the TARS in Brunswick County, and they are soon, unfortunately, leaving because they graduate from high school. And the TARS are the Teenage Republicans. Mm-hmm. So I would like if you folks could, if you and Elizabeth Isaac could tell the folks what you're all about, how they would get in touch to join the TARS, and tell us some of the things that you've done over the last year.
Yeah, of course. So like you said, me and Elizabeth, this is our last, we're coming up on
Swan song.
Yeah, about to be booted out. But the Teenage Republicans, we do a lot. We go to a lot of events that are sponsored by the Brunswick County Republican Party. We hold our own events in which we use that as kind of getting more teenagers to join the club, because since me and Elizabeth are leaving, our numbers will be dwindling down a little more. So one of our goals for next year is to recruit more members.
Great.
For the 2023-2024 year. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we go to a lot of events from the GOP. We do a lot of fundraising for our clubs as well. Some of them include 50-50 raffles at certain, maybe holiday events that the Brunswick GOP holds. And then we actually did a Dog of the Year contest, the first annual. A lot of people seem to like that.
That was fun.
It was fun, very fun.
Whoever thought of that was brilliant.
I don't know. But yeah, we do these events to kind of get the word out that that we're active, we're ready to help, we're ready to be a part of what our county stands for and what we believe in. And I'm just the past 2 to 3 years has been amazing. We've did a lot to help candidates, both local level, state level, and nationwide. So we do a lot for some teenagers.
And just so people understand, it's not just sweep the floors and whatever else, the grunt work.
Mm-hmm.
Right,
you guys are actively involved in what we do.
Mm-hmm.
You man tables for us. You help us check people in. You knock on doors for us. You're like everybody, the other adults out there. Mm-hmm. You make phone calls. You do whatever is necessary to help us elect candidates, and we appreciate that.
Right. We do. We do it as a thank you to the GOP and as a gratitude. And quite frankly, we love to do it.
It shows. It shows, guys.
You're being unnecessarily quiet, ma'am.
We depend on you guys for a lot of things. Whenever we have an event and we need extra hands, mm-hmm. the first people we go to are the TARS.
Yeah, I feel like we're ready to help, whenever you need us.
Yes, you are. Thank you.
And one thing that we've done to increase our membership is we amended our constitution to also include super seniors at the early college.
Great.
So that's helped us with some membership.
That's true.
Great.
And then one opportunity that the TARS had this past election cycle was to be a Ted Budd intern or a North Carolina GOP intern. So I chose to be a North Carolina Republican Party intern. And that was a really great experience and opportunity. I knocked a lot of doors, but I made more phone calls, and that was just a good
Mhm.
opportunity.
And just as a thought, and it just popped in my head when you talked about the super seniors, you might want to consider, groups have associate members. For example, the ladies groups allows the guys to be associate members and vice versa for the men's group. Okay. You might consider junior high kids as associate members. They could join, they could learn, they wouldn't get a vote necessarily, but you have extra hands and they would learn and
Right.
you'd be there to step up when it's their turn.
They
Yes,
can
sir.
get ready.
That's a great idea, but the only thing is we do fall under the North Carolina Federation of Teenage Republicans, and that's not in their bylaws. We can't have associate members, but that is a great idea.
I
Change
wonder
'em.
why.
Change them.
Spark the change.
Yeah, change it.
Do they approve your bylaws or do you have bylaws?
They do. They do.
We do. Yeah, they do.
Send the change and see what happens.
We really should.
Well, I see.
Bring it up
Well,
at the next
I hate
meeting.
to say it this, but let me explain what happens when changes come in, because I've been on committees and they'll come in and we'll look at it and we'll say, all right, is this going to be earth shattering? No, it's done. Moving on. Okay. Unless you're saying that you're going to blow up the world and whatever else, or you're going to change everything. They're going to approve it. Just send it in and see what you get.
I think it's a really good idea because we do have a lot of individuals who contact us and they are interested. And then, when they say, well, I'm in 7th grade or 8th grade, it's hard for us to say, well, you're
Right.
not old enough, but we love their enthusiasm. We love
Yeah.
their,
And 2
appreciation.
years from now, you may lose it.
Right.
Exactly.
So if you can get them in, see what happens.
I think it's good training for them as well.
Right.
Get them accustomed to what it's all about, what you do.
Because we do a lot. So
Yes, you do.
It's fun.
So
The only hassle you're going to have doing it is you're going to have to be transporting more, because most of the time you guys have transportation
Right.
capabilities. Middle school kids won't.
right.
So your mom or dad will have to help or
But the
get permission to
parents-
drive.
Yeah, the parents are pretty good about that. So,
They can get them
that-
out of the house for a while,
so this is something for
Yeah,
you to
if you
work
tell them
on.
that way, my wife would volunteer me to get me out of the house. So I could become a TARS.
Now, do you reach out to all of the high schools like West, North, and South?
We do the best we can. This is a big county, but we use, the use of our social medias and then our personal platforms. We repost our what our club has been doing on our social medias in hopes that we can get more people to understand and realize what we are doing and to kind of be known. There's this opportunity for them if they
Right.
want to. But we definitely, one of our goals as well is to, like I said earlier, is to reach out more and reach out to
Yeah.
neighboring schools.
Would the schools allow you to put some literature at those places for, the purpose of the kids finding out exactly what you do and how to get in touch with you?
Well, we've never really tried it. At my school, we don't put out any literature just because we are truly based from the GOP.
Mhm.
But we haven't tried that yet. But that is a good idea. I believe.
Something that you need to discuss with
You're
your
probably, as a high school principal, retired.
Mm.
The chances you getting a political thing in like that are
Right.
low.
Very low, especially.
But
in
you
this
could
day.
probably backdoor through social media.
Yes, sir. That's what we do a lot of the times. Our social media account has over 200 followers. So we've really been working hard. with
Really,
that.
that's a good number.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I know that when your advisor, before you guys came on board, BK, she was a teacher at South. And I know at that time there was literature.
Mm.
So I think it's maybe in who you speak to,
It is.
because they allow it from both parties. So, maybe
But-
something you could look into.
But again, in Brunswick, and I'm not shooting at you, but I do know, for example, there's been push from either party to send people in to register kids.
Mhm.
And what the party has done, not to get what the Board of Education has done, rather, not to get sucked in with either party or get labeled either way. They've asked the actual Brunswick Board of Elections to send people in.
Okay.
So they do it that way to keep it nonpartisan, if you
Right.
will.
Right.
So my guess is you would have to go through a kid's play site to get people to get involved. Once you get a couple of kids that want to do a club, a TARS club in a school, they can go to the principal, and all they need is a faculty member to say, I'll sponsor it, and it's a go.
And then-
Right.
But you got a back door to make it happen.
Yeah.
Right. That is one.
And if you find somebody at one of the other schools, then they might want to check to see who, as one of the teachers, might be their advisor there.
Chances are it will not be someone with a vote for Biden sticker on their car.
Right.
That's true.
Very true.
I think the main thing that we focused on though is to not have it school based, but to have it county based,
Mhm.
because we believe that that's where we can help the best, and we
Oh, I
can
agree.
help in the GOP,
Mhm.
and we can really help the best.
Right. But honey, you got to get the word out. And what better way to do that than
Yes,
is
sir.
in your school?
That's right.
So this past year, you have helped us a great deal by having hands on deck, so to speak, because you've done a lot of setups for us. You have welcomed people. You've registered people coming in the door. So do you feel like you know a lot more about the party, a lot more about the folks in the party?
Yes, I know. I definitely do. When I first, joined TARS and I was starting to do all these events, anytime, say we were welcoming people in, anytime an individual would come in, I would kind of, have to look at Elizabeth. I was like, what's her name again? Because she, our advisor, her mother has been involved with a long time. She's been involved with the GOP a long time before the creation of TARS. But as we've, did these events, we've connected with many more people. We made those relationships, and I definitely know a lot more about people and know the people who come in. So
Great.
it's very fun. I love everyone who comes in.
I think everybody in the party respects these young people.
Well, if they don't, they're idiots. If they don't respect what these kids do, they're idiots.
Exactly.
Didn't mean that to you nice Republicans out there. I meant they're probably Democrats, but you guys do a phenomenal job for us. I can't say enough for it. You're there every time we need something. You don't beg. You're there. You
Yeah.
get it done, and you don't look for fanfare. That's what's great about you.
Yeah.
And that's I think that's the experience we want to tell the other teenagers in our county. We want to reach out. This is what happens. It's some people look at our club and say, well, it's just some boring political stuff, which is quite the opposite.
Mhm.
Our county is very active in all the events we hold. All the events are fun, and we get some special access sometimes to some very fancier events like certain dinners or certain parties.
Mhm.
You get better access than I do sometime at the state level.
All right.
They do very well.
We must be doing
Especially when
something
someone
good.
was treasurer at the state level. I'm telling you.
Exactly.
So it's definitely, that's the information we want to
Right.
share with our fellow teenagers. It's the connections you make, the relationships you make, the experiences you have.
Exactly.
Well, not only that, but you're a beginning point, because somewhere down the road, you're going to take over from us, because we're all not going to live forever.
Right.
And from that, and some of you may want to go into politics. And it's a great way to know what's going on before you get there.
Right.
So, this is a win-win for everybody.
Right. And you don't even necessarily have to be, devoted to politics to join a club. We have it's the best thing to join our club, because we have people who are just learning about politics, who are devoted to politics, and, who want to learn more about politics. And it's,
Right.
the experiences are fun, but the learning is much more richer. We
Well,
learn
in
a lot.
order to do something, you have to understand it.
Right.
Mhm.
And even sitting as the chairman of the party, a month doesn't go by where I don't learn something else that I didn't know
Mhm.
before. And it makes me a better chairman down the road, because I can give people the better answers. So,
And it's very nice to be able to socialize with people that feel and think the way you do.
Yeah.
And I think as an experience for you guys now, with myself, I am doing this because this is what I believe in. This is what I want for my country, for my family, for my children, grandchildren. And I think that's what leads you guys into it as well. You have come to believe that is what you want. Mm-hmm. So any one of your friends out there who feels that way, they need to get up with you guys.
Exactly.
Now tell us the name of your page on Facebook. What is it called?
On Facebook, it's Brunswick Tars. And then on Instagram, it's Brunswick_Tars.
Okay, good.
So the simplest way to reach out to us could be through any of those social media sites.
Not Twitter.
At one point, we had a Twitter.
At one point, so did I.
Then
Yep. And then
Twitter changed things.
We kind of got turned off, didn't
when
we?
Donald
Yes.
Trump got banned, that was our last straw, and we got off of
But
Twitter.
he's back now.
He is.
He
We
is back.
probably need to make that decision if we will come back to Twitter.
Yeah.
And there are other platforms out there that we need to, as a party and as your group working with us, we need to do better in social media,
Mhm.
I think
because that's the direction most of the country is going to,
Absolutely.
As I describe something when I used to be a principal, I'd say, you need to understand the difference between you and I with technology. You are what we call a native technologist. You grew up with it.
Yep.
Since you were 2 years old, you press buttons, you know what you're doing. I'm what you call the immigrant. I moved into a foreign country. It's called technology.
Me too.
And I'm trying to learn it like any immigrant that goes to a new country and a new culture. And there's a big difference. I mean, if I want to get something done, I call one of our grandkids and say, make this work.
Mhm.
Get this done. And my 10-year-old look at me and go, dummy, grandpa. Just fix it, kid.
Yeah, but I do believe, our country is heading into an age of social media, and, social media also has a direct connection to our generation.
Yes.
So, the smart.
It is only
way.
the beginning.
But I got to tell you guys,
Mhm.
nothing drives me crazier than to sit down with my grandkids and have 4 of them sitting around a table talking to each other.
I know.
It's called conversation. Look at each other in the eye and say
Right.
words.
Right.
I like the commercial on the air where the grandfather hasn't come in, he scans them. Throw your phones over here. You're coming in to have dinner with me. No
Oh,
one's allowed a phone. And
Yeah.
and I think that's a great idea.
I haven't seen that commercial.
It's a Thanksgiving when a grandpa's sitting and the little girl walks in and she has one stuffed in a teddy bear and he catches it and makes her take it out.
that's fun.
I know that on both of your social media pages, you share just about everything that you do. So you might want to let your friends know if they're interested in some of the things that you are part of, to make sure to check out your pages. So that's one of the first places I go every morning.
Yes, ma'am. We definitely post as frequently as we can.
Mhm,
We're probably going to be doing another post tonight about us on the radio.
mhm.
And I have told many people about our page, and I will continue telling them. So I hope it will continue to grow. I'm proud of the work that we've all put into it, and I
Absolutely,
think
honey.
that it's going well.
Yeah.
We have a
Eli-
great social media coordinator.
yeah.
As you can tell.
Elizabeth was
Oh, man.
also treasurer of the state TARS, and just until recently, right?
Yes, ma'am. My term ended in July.
Hmm. And so she has quite the experience statewide, even.
I was up there when she was elected. I remember walking
Yeah.
around with her when she was campaigning
Yeah.
for that first run. That was at a state convention for her up there. She did well.
So any one of your friends who join the TARS, if they should so be inclined to go further,
Mhm.
they can certainly look into becoming a representative as a statewide. So
And
Right.
I don't know if you remember the conversation, but I had it with at least one of you. Don't remember if it was both of you or not. But sometime in the January, February timeframe, we're also going to start podcasting. Yeah, you look in the face. You remember the
Oh, yeah.
conversation? Yes.
Yeah.
We talked about a quick podcast, teenagers to teenagers.
Mhm.
Mhm.
and talk what you want to do, and we'll be able to run that from here too. We're working on
Yep.
getting that organized.
That's awesome.
So
Absolutely. What are you going to be working on from now until you leave?
passing high school.
Well, besides that,
Just checking.
I don't have
That's one.
I don't have any
Making my mom
concerns
proud.
where
That's
that's concerned because they're both very smart kids.
Yeah, you know, our main goal is recruitment, increased
Mhm.
membership. We would love to see that.
Mhm.
You know, into this coming year, we want to be as active in the county as possible. This would be our last, time to shine. So we want to be active in the county, and we want to spread our political beliefs locally, as well as statewide and nationwide. So we
Right.
got a lot in store for our, last year, but we're gonna make it big. We're gonna make it.
Maybe you should consider having a membership drive.
Yes, we are hoping to plan a mini golf day.
Yes.
Wonderful.
So hopefully that'll be able to happen. The place is not opened yet,
Right.
so we're waiting on that. But
On our feet, waiting for that place to open.
We're
And
Is that the one in 17
Yep.
yes,
with the
sir.
big rooster?
yes,
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Great. That sounds wonderful. And do it as a membership drive to recruit new members. That would be great.
it's fun.
What is your next event coming up? Any ideas?
It will probably be that nice mini golf that has not opened yet.
Or
That's what we were planning.
we're
Okay.
hopefully going to see Miss Sarah McPherson
That's true.
sworn in.
Oh.
I believe it's January
Second.
2nd. So
Great.
January 3rd.
January 2nd.
Early
or 3rd.
January.
Yeah.
The new year.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm going to be away for that one, but I'm going to be back for when our next judge gets sworn in on Friday.
Mr. Brian Wilson.
Yes, Mr. Wilson, who's nervous of what I'm going to do at his ceremony.
His is on the 6th.
And he should be
I believe.
When is he sworn in?
Friday.
This Friday?
No, the first week in January, that
Yeah,
Friday.
I was going to say.
I
The
think it's on the
6th.
6th.
Yeah, whatever that Friday
Yeah.
is. But I'm back in time for that. And he's nervous of what. Can you imagine being nervous what I might do?
Yeah.
Well, I could imagine that, Mr. Bill.
Oh,
Put
yeah, I
your
can-
hat on.
You're very
Bill,
unexpected.
No, that's for the break. I'll come back
Oh,
from the break. I had it
darn.
planned.
I because we need to share and maybe people will understand why he's nervous.
Well, you have to understand. I've always been humble and quiet. If you ever go through the
Yeah,
yearbooks at my school, my house from all the years I was principal, my granddaughter was in looking at one, and I went to the prom dressed as the big wide black hat and a long jacket. And I looked like somebody right out of the 20s. The fedora on the top.
Wow.
Another time I went to school dressed on Halloween Day, I was dressed as a Roman senator,
Oh,
right down to the sandals.
wow. That is very interesting.
Yes,
Very interesting.
We should have a costume day one day at GOP. That'd be
Sounds like a
nice.
All
great
these ideas.
idea.
were-
you ought to be thinking about something coming up. You've got Valentine's Day is coming up.
It's
Mhm.
true.
Yep.
See, now if you
There's-
could work your principle
Mhm.
and you had enough kids involved, well, what we used to do in the high school I had in North Carolina, we would sell carnations.
Oh, wow.
Now, what we would do is you'd order them during the week. I want to give it to A, B, and C,
Mhm.
and 50 cents or whatever it was, whatever they're getting nowadays. And we'd set it up so the school doesn't go crazy. We could deliver them all day because they'll be going crazy. The last period, you had a bunch of kids ready, and then you had them all divided down. So this is going to go to this classroom, 8th period, and you delivered with the names on them. So when the last day, everybody gets their flowers at the same time. You make a profit.
Yep.
People
That's,
like the Valentine's side of the house.
Mhm.
that's similar to what our school does.
Mhm.
Very, very similar.
Yeah.
Good ideas. I'd love to hear it. Love to see it.
I don't know. I didn't get any flowers from your school. Did you get any flowers from your school?
No.
See, I'm worried about that. There's this great idea. We didn't get any flowers out of it.
No.
Shame.
Well, you know what, guys? We have to take a break now and pay some bills.
Yes.
And then we'll
Yep.
come back with the other half of the show with crazy Mr. Bill and the settling influence here.
And we're going to talk about a couple of other things.
Anyway, stay tuned. We'll be back with all things Brunswick.
Marine Service Pro and the Tackle Box Seafood, located at 8210 River Road, Southport, is open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, with the Tackle Box open Monday through Saturday, 7 to 6. Marine Service Pro is a full Suzuki and Tohatsu dealership. They deal in pre-owned boats, full service and repair, with certified technicians in all engines, and fiberglass specialists. The Tackle Box offers fresh local seafood, live bait, a tackle shop, and fish packing and shipping. They also offer a full-service U-Haul dealership. Spend time with Leon or Jenny for one-stop shopping at Marine Service Pro and the Tackle Box Seafood, 8210 River Road, Southport.
This show is also sponsored by Dr. Tony Maglione. Dr. Tony is a cardiologist practicing in Wilmington. He accepts Medicare patients, and his office is located across the street from New Hanover Regional Medical Center at 2032 17th Street. The office number is 202-1071. Dr. Tony is an author whose last book is Rules for Conservative Patriots, and it can be purchased on Amazon. His website is www.drtonymag.com.
Veteran Awareness sponsored by You Are Not Alone. Today's veteran homeless rate is approximately 19,750, and the numbers are declining because of the various veteran programs. If you are a veteran you know is homeless, please call 877-4AID-VET. This is a confidential and toll-free call. From this veteran to other veterans, please be there to help our brother and sister veterans. Again, the number is 1-877-424-3838. And thank you for your service.
Are you nervous about joining a gym? Anxious about not being able to keep up with others in the fitness classes? Full Circle Fitness has your solution. We specialize in working with those just getting started on their fitness journey. Our coaches tailor each workout to you and your level of ability, so you don't have to worry about keeping up. There's no better opportunity to get started. Call today, Full Circle Fitness, 910-399-8350, or visit FullCircleFitnessNC.com.
To All Things Brunswick, Christmas edition. And we're getting ready to move forward with our Taurus kids. And for those of you who wondered about the crazy guy sitting over here, that would be me.
Yes.
Anyway, back to our Taurus kids.
Before we get back to our TARS kids, I would like to wish everybody a happy St. Lucia Day. For those of you who don't know what it is the first day of Christmas in Sweden. And what that means is usually the eldest daughter in the household wears a crown of candles, and she serves her family Luskatter glögg and pepparkakor, which
sounds disgusting.
saffron buns and mulled wine and ginger snap.
And she walks over with those candles and sets off the alarms
It's
and
tradition.
burns down the living room. Right.
And in my family, what we did was we always remembered St. Lucia by giving everyone one gift on the 13th of December. And so when I send my boxes up north to my family, I always have to put a 13th gift in there so everybody can enjoy it.
And before we go on, don't we have announcements that we have to fill? What's going on?
Actually, I don't have announcements tonight because I did them, but I would like to say thank you to some people. After I left the Christmas party here last week, I hit a deer on the way home. And I want to say thank you so much to Anthony, who stopped his car and helped me. He called 911, calmed me down, and stayed right with me until the state trooper
Is that the new
came.
car?
Excuse me?
Was that the new car?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
And I also want to thank Stan Reeves because I did it right in front of his house, and he came out and stayed with me also until the state trooper came.
And then they cut the deer up and they divided it
No,
out.
with the deer ran off into the woods, so I'm hoping it was
Well, we're hoping because
okay.
Rudolph has to get back in time for the 25th.
Yeah, that's
We're in
right.
trouble.
Time's
That's a
running out.
problem.
I know. But anyway, this means so much to me for these folks to stop. And it was a cold night. They stood out there in the cold with me and stayed right there until the state trooper came. And I appreciate them so much.
That's what a real neighbor is.
It is
Not just the guy that lives next to you.
yeah.
It's the neighbor who goes out
Yeah.
of their way to help somebody
Yeah.
in trouble.
Yeah.
And while we're doing our thank yous, we should remember before we forget that this Saturday starts Hanukkah for our Jewish friends.
Yes.
And we want to just wish them a happy
Happy
holiday for them.
Hanukkah.
Happy
Yep.
Hanukkah.
And
And
I also want to thank Gwen and Helen, two ladies that I met on Saturday. We stood, seriously, folks, we stood in line at Burlington Coat Factory for 46 minutes. And
didn't have the cash, huh?
no, I'll tell you, it was insane. But these two ladies made me laugh, and I had the best time with them. It was just like a continuation of neighborly caring after the deer incident, and then they just made me appreciate the fact that there are people in the world like that. So,
Did you find a good coat?
you know,
Well, you know what's also interesting, and we're talking about thanking people. Sharon Langaro, for that stuff that's going to go to Matthew's
Yes.
ministry.
yeah.
You know, we have some stuff that she's donating.
Yep.
She has knitted hats and some blankets that we're going to get set up to get to Matthew's ministry and get distributed to the families that need it for the season, if it is the reason for the season. So
Right.
we're looking forward to all those kind of good stuffs because we do care.
I do. Thank you,
Now, back to
Gwen.
Tars.
Thank you, Helen. I hope to see you again very soon.
Tars time.
Yes, sir. If I may, I'd like to wish one of our tars a happy birthday today. One of our tars, Sophie, is her birthday. So
Oh,
Happy birthday,
great.
Sophie.
Happy
Happy
birthday.
birthday.
But a birthday party is no excuse for not being here.
We would have done a cake.
Sure.
Little
And Builder.
So happy birthday.
Well, happy birthday, Sophie. We hope you have a lot more coming, and we need to see you here for your next birthday.
So, how would you like to talk to us about your relationship with our elected officials? You were very helpful to them in the election. And tell us how individually how you feel about them, helping them and getting to know them.
Yeah.
Well, I'd really, as Isaac said previously, I have been involved with the GOP for a long time, but I never felt
She's not old
comfortable.
enough to have a long time.
Well, for my lifespan so
Okay.
far, it's been a long time. And I really, at first, when I used to come, I never really felt comfortable speaking to anybody. And now it's really nice because I know all these elected officials and I feel confident enough to talk to them. And it's a really nice thing to be able to do. And I'm very thankful for the opportunities that I have through that. And just to be able to really get to know some of these people because they're not just signs or like boxes
Right.
that you check. They're real people, and a lot of them have great personalities.
Yep.
Right. And the connections you make with them is, of the utmost importance. You do the work for them and they can help you when you need it. Judge Jason Disbrow, I worked with him a lot. I went to his events, and he, in favor, he wrote me a letter of recommendation for my colleges and for a scholarship I was applying to. So it's,
Wonderful.
I had lots of fun working with him, and I'm glad that he got to write that letter of recommendation for me.
It never hurts to have a judge sign a letter of recommendation.
Yeah, that's right. And especially, the
A
college,
Superior Court judge, yeah.
the scholarship I applied for was from the same college he went to. So
Well, there's a subtlety.
that gives you a hint.
Uh-huh.
You know, and by the way, talking about what our friend over there was talking about, Miss Nutley. When Elizabeth was talking about how you get used to speak people need to understand that the TARs are not just a group part of the county. they have a seat at the table.
Exactly.
And they get to vote on what's going on. And
Right.
every week, every month when we have a meeting, they get to address the entire
Mhm.
leadership of the party and explain what they're doing and things like that. And that helps. And you guys do a great job at that.
Right.
It's definitely grown me a lot as a person.
Yeah.
So
I've
And it-
watched you, Elizabeth. I've watched you since you were just little. and you are absolutely right. You are an extraordinary young woman.
thank you,
So
Miss Mary.
And I'll give you a compliment too, Isaac. You're an
Thank you.
extraordinary young man. How's
Thank
that?
you.
I don't want you to
appreciate
feel
that.
negative on it.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
well, I agree.
Not that we lined up on the sexist roles here, but just check that out here. But
Well, I only met Isaac about a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
But
All
I've
right.
known Elizabeth for a long time.
And she
So-
admits it. That's even more important.
It just shows the importance of, connections, relationships. You get
yeah.
see us grow. And we
Well, you also learn, for example, you can make a suggestion to somebody. Well, maybe you ought to talk to Congressman so-and-so, or, the right person to talk to is Representative Miller if he lives in your area, or Frank Eiler, Representative Eiler. And you have that ability to route people for answers.
Exactly.
And it's interesting to do that.
And your young friends need to know that in that aspect, they could be helped in that way.
Right.
So,
And if you look at what the adults, if you will, in the county have done for education, and kids don't even know that. I mean, if you look at county commissioners, the work they put in, the Board of Education, the work that those people put in, and they're all Republicans. I'm going to sing a good horn now because they've done a great job.
they really have.
but-
Incredible.
They get your input. They look for input from kids, and they're going to talk to you at meetings because they trust you. If we trust you, they're going to trust you initially. And then as they get to know you, they can't help but trust you.
All right.
You see, that's a good thing, Isaac. That was another
Or
good
like
compliment.
you.
Right. Right.
But working with them is extremely important for TARS kids because you learn
Mhm.
there's a negative side to politics that everybody hears initially. And then when you start realizing that individuals don't necessarily have to follow that, there are good people, like anything, they're good and bad. That there are good people and then there are the Democrats. No, I didn't say that, but yes, I did.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Yeah.
Do you feel that you have learned more about how our country works, how the government should work? Did I say that
Sure.
right?
Shit is the key word.
I'm sure that you must feel that you've learned more by being TARS and being part of the GOP's
Mm-hmm.
functions and the elections and
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have our club has definitely learned a lot about how the country, politically operates, how the government should function.
Mhm.
The elections, the different types of elections, what congressmen, congresswomen are being elected. It's definitely an enriching opportunity to be able to learn all of this because it not only helps you here, but it helps you in your school,
Mhm.
And in the future.
and in the future. Very
Right.
much, very much.
Yeah.
One
Now-
place that I've learned through is Youth Legislative Assembly, which I got that an opportunity through TARS, and I've now been able to be a delegate in the short session, a General Government Committee co-chair last long session, and then this session I'm a Military Affairs co-chair, and so that's been a true blessing, and I've learned so much through
Right.
that.
Many of the
Let's-
listeners are not going to understand what that legislative assembly is.
Right.
You want to take some time and tell them about it?
Yeah.
Sure. So, Youth Legislative Assembly is a mock legislative assembly, actually through the North Carolina Legislative Assembly. So, you will go up to Raleigh for a three-day period, and if you're a delegate, and you will learn the legislative process. You will learn Robert's Rules of Order, and you will learn how to debate correctly with parliamentary procedure. And so, it's a great opportunity for anybody in high school. And if you are in early college, you can also come. And then just recently, this past Saturday, they had their first community college event, which the Youth Legislative Assembly leadership was a part of. That was also a great opportunity.
Wonderful.
And it shows that the opportunities we get from here, it showed, YLA was an opportunity that, both of us got to learn about because of being in TARS.
Right.
so-
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
That's wonderful. What else would you like to share with us this evening? Now, you have a couple of other folks on your board, so to speak. Maggie is your secretary.
She actually, we voted she's going to be our vice president.
Okay.
She
Okay.
got promoted.
And Sophie is your secretary.
Well, Sophie's just a member, but we love her.
Okay.
But we are looking for a now secretary.
Okay.
So if you are a teenager and you live in this county, just contact us through our Instagram or Facebook. But yeah, we are looking for that position.
Okay, what does the TAR secretary do?
So the TAR secretary maintains attendance at our board meetings and our regular meetings and takes notes from the meetings that we can access later and look at later. And they get to be part of this wonderful Brunswick County GOP.
Yeah, and they just really support the board in any way.
Right.
And we just all talk and
And they're a voting member of the board.
yes, of course.
Yes.
Of course.
Yes.
And that's important.
Yeah. How often do you meet?
So we try to meet at least once a month, whether it be on Zoom or in person. And some of our meetings aren't just regular meetings. Sometimes our meetings include certain events, certain holiday events. We try to make it as fun as possible for the teenagers in the county. But
Okay. Do the TARS have a Brunswick County TARS? Do they have a plan of organization?
Yes, ma'am.
yeah,
Okay. And then the state TARS also have a plan, right?
Yes, ma'am.
yes.
Okay. So much like our organization, your plan of organization must meet the criteria of the state. Is that correct?
That's true. Our state constitution is not very restrictive.
Right.
It's a lot like the Republican women where they really let the club decide.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, ma'am, the state has a constitution and we have one.
Now, is there a group in between? For example, at our level, we have a district group.
Right.
At one time when I was on the state board, the chair had talked about making districts, but it is possible with the NC TARS constitution for there to be districts, but right now there is no district.
Well, for a
There are
little
no
bit, you were
districts.
actually working with New Hanover because I remember the gentleman who was the president up there came down to one of our meetings that you guys ran here.
Right.
That's true. We did work with them for a while.
Yep.
Yes, but that was not necessarily a district. That was just us joining two clubs for an event.
And we have,
Yes, sir.
I believe the state has regional representatives.
Oh, yeah. I was going to ask about that.
We do. I just don't
Um,
believe they're in place at this time.
Right.
Uh-huh.
But-
Okay. Because the
Or
Brunswick
district
County,
representatives.
or
It's
the
discretion of
actually
the state chair if they're
right.
appointed or not.
Right.
North Carolina Republican women have regional representatives, which are very helpful.
Right.
I think we have 6 because we have the coastal region, the capital region, the mountain region, so forth and so on. So, yeah, that would be great. So there is a lot of opportunity for any one of these young people, if they wish to join the TARS, there's a lot of opportunity for them to do a whole lot more than belonging just to the club.
That's very true.
That is
Yeah.
very true. We have lots of events that are held, lots of learning opportunities, lots of social events, social opportunities. It's very fun being in this.
And you'll be invited to participate in the county convention in March,
Yes.
Thank you.
which is an interesting
Appreciate that.
time for all.
Yes.
And at that convention, we elect leadership for the next 2 years.
Mhm.
And we will also pass any resolutions that might be brought up by membership and whatever else the membership wants to do with that based on setups for the precinct. So that happens in March. In April, there'll be a district meeting.
Right.
And I can't get you a direct invitation there, but I really believe since Mr. Agravino runs it and his wife is the vice president of the ladies group, you might have it in there. You might be able to
Yeah.
pull that one off.
Awesome.
You can make that happen at district meeting.
Yes.
And then at some point down the road in May, June, there should be a state meeting,
The end
State
of May, I
convention.
think.
depending on.
Yeah.
It's been as late as June, so it depends what goes on. So
Now, the TARS have had their state meeting, right?
Yes, ma'am. It was on July 23rd.
Yep.
Okay, so you'll have another coming up this July or next July.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
you do an annual?
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
We elect new membership for the state board, and we also bring up any resolutions that need to be brought up.
So the state leadership's a 1-year position.
It is.
Okay.
With our board, though, we have it right now where it is a 3-year position, I believe.
The one, the
The
Brunswick
county.
TARS.
Yes.
Yes.
You see what I'm learning? Take some notes
me
there.
too.
And go to sleep now because you can't go to bed till you learn something every day. So now I've got something written down. I'm good.
Right.
Well, I cannot thank you enough.
Well, we're not done with them yet. We got to
I
play with them a
know.
little bit more.
I just wanted
Given
to
you the
thank
power.
them.
What rule at the county convention would you push through or ask for at the state level? If you could change one thing in the Republican Party at the county or the state level, aside from replacing me, that would not work. But,
No.
but if there's something that you would like passed or you think that should be addressed, what would it be? And that's a very hard question.
This is a very good question.
Let me rephrase that. If there's one thing you can make happen tomorrow, what would you want happening?
Oh, well, that's very simple. I would have the value of human life be increased because a lot of people
Yes.
don't value other humans as they should, all the way from the unborn to the elderly. It doesn't matter race, gender, disability, mental ability. I really think that human life should be valued and be more respected than it is. Just shown compassion and love. And if that could be changed, well, that would change everything. But
Your mouth to God's ear.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
can't add to anything. That was
No.
perfect.
That is
Now
perfect.
your chance to be perfect.
Oh, I'll try, but you said it was the word or what she just said was the mouth of God, and I have something similar to that. I believe that if I could change something tomorrow, it'd be leaving or taking off the scrutiny of religion and how freedom of religion seems kind of hard these days. I believe
we
Very-
need
very
it
good.
back.
yeah. So if I could change something, it would be to allow for less chastising of our religion, and being able to express ourselves in public life, especially with the school, because there's a lot of debates about religion and its ties into school, where if you are able to pray before a certain event or a certain game, if you're able to take a class on a certain religion or Christian religion,
Right.
like a Bible class, so if I could change something, it would be to, lift the scrutiny on our religion,
And bring it back.
bring it back. Yeah.
But what's nice about teenagers, and I've been working with them a lot, good lot of my life, you guys find a way around to make things happening. And I've seen it. It wasn't any schools I've been in, but I've read about it as being a former principal. There was one district in Pennsylvania that forbid people using the term "God bless you" at football games. So what they did is they had someone sneeze in the stands, and the whole audience said, "God bless you." They got around on it. And another place they wanted to ban praying, so the whole audience went down on their knees. What are you gonna do? What's the school
Yeah.
principal gonna do? No choice. You kids know how to deal with it. And I respect that. You'll get done the right things, and I'm just so proud of what you just said, both of you. I mean, that was a well thought answer and hopefully someone's listening, and we'll get that done for you in our lifetime. Definitely in yours. Hopefully ours is iffy, but we've got some more time than we do. But
Well, I think feeling as strongly as you do about it, that I'm sure that you both will work towards that. So, and that is such a good thing to hear.
And it starts with the teenagers. That's one of our main goals. The beliefs that our party backs.
Right.
To not stand down in the face of,
criticism,
Yeah.
so to say. Yep.
If what you believe in is true, you should have no problem with saying it.
Right.
Right. Exactly.
And
Yeah.
I respect that greatly.
Do you do a lot of your friends or your the kids at school feel the same way that you do?
I would say they do. We're all, or at least the peers I hang with and associate with, and I know we feel strongly about our beliefs. And sometimes it does feel like the system is criticizing us and attacking us, but we're strong in our beliefs, and we won't back down.
Well, every teenager since the beginning of time has felt criticized. Let's face it.
Yes. Yes.
So,
100%.
but that's good. Do not back down.
Right.
Believe in what you believe in and be true to yourself.
And what's important with what you're saying is you need to express it, because far too often, many of us who are conservatives or Republican conservatives think we're the only ones in town.
Yeah.
And when you start talking to other people, you feel, hey, you're one of us, and you're one of us, and you're one of us. And all of a sudden we become a large group because we exchange information.
Right.
And we're not alone. And it's helpful. So,
Do you know
I
that
do.
I just want to throw this out there. I think
I've gone nuts today. It's
every day I try to read something new or learn something new, like Bill said. And since it was St. Lucia today, I was reading about the different laws and things in Sweden, because my ancestors are from Sweden. So, do you know that it is illegal in Sweden to criticize your child?
I did not.
If it's somebody in
my
the
mother and father
public-
went into a talk for 2 years.
if somebody in public hears you criticize your child, they can be arrested.
Wow, what if they do something wrong? It's
Well, no, it's that's disciplining them,
true.
but it's just criticizing. I mean, that kind of blew me away.
That is very
But it's such a nebulous term. It
right.
can be applied to almost
Well,
anything.
Right.
As you were taking
Yep.
it, discipline could be criticism.
They say it in this way: a parent should not shame their child. That's how it's stated in the records that I read.
That's interesting. Really
It
is.
It is a very interesting thing. And in Sweden, it's legal to sue yourself.
Well, you're guaranteed to win.
I know.
Yeah.
One side is going to win.
I have never heard of anything like that in my life, but
Sue yourself.
yeah, I did
How-
learn some things
How
today.
All right, left arm, take my wallet and give it to the right arm. Okay, I settled the bill.
That's so strange.
I started this a long time ago, where I would go to, something written or some place where I looked up something each day and read on it pertaining to the day or the time, or, and I thought, wow, I should have done this a long time ago. These are my ancestors I'm talking about.
May I recommend the this day in history emails from the history?
Mhm.
I get that
channel?
every day.
Yep.
I do too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I see
that's
that.
a weekly thing that it's just nice to
Yeah.
come in and read it every day.
I see it on Instagram too. They show you.
And it's a lot of good information that you don't
Right.
know.
Yep.
But, Well-
Interesting. Anyway,
It's about time to start wrapping us because
I
we
know.
got to do a
I'm
commercial
just-
button and a goodbye.
I'm so happy that you joined us this evening, and I have to say I'm so proud of both of you.
And I really didn't mean you should flunk and stay with us, but do keep in touch with us and stay involved. You know, your next step is Young Republicans.
Yeah,
You know, get involved with the Young
Yeah.
college Republicans. That's right. Then you go to the Young Republicans. So
right.
stay involved because we need you involved. And hang on there because we got a few bills to pay and we got to say goodnight.
Yep.
Bye.
Veteran Awareness sponsored by You Are Not Alone. Today's veteran homeless rate is approximately 19,750, and the numbers are declining because of the various veteran programs. If you or a veteran you know is homeless, please call 877-4AID-VET. This is a confidential and toll-free call. From this veteran to other veterans, please be there to help our brother and sister veterans. Again, the number is 1-877-424-3838. And thank you for your service.
This show is also sponsored by Dr. Tony Maglione. Dr. Tony is a cardiologist practicing in Wilmington. He accepts Medicare patients, and his office is located across the street from New Hanover Regional Medical Center at 2032 17th Street. The office number is 202-1071. Dr. Tony is an author whose last book is Rules for Conservative Patriots, and it can be purchased on Amazon. His website is www.drtonymag.com.
If you're enjoying the content you find on Big Talker, any of your shows, all the hosts, you really need to make sure you're following and liking us on Facebook. There's a video section. You can watch all the live video of programs as they happen. You can also see video of past content that you may have missed for whatever reason. Plus, even better, you can share it with a friend. Let other people know how much you enjoy the Big Talker and the great content we provide, and interact with other listeners and the hosts in the comment section live as it happens. Big Talker Net on Facebook.
It seems like every other store is now selling CBD in some form or another. But did you know that Wilmington has just one local CBD company? I'm talking about Carolina Pure. Family owned and operated, they are Wilmington's first and only CBD company that makes quality hemp products right here in town, including tinctures, topicals, and pet products. Their hemp is sourced from local farmers, and they support area musicians and nonprofits. Check us out at carolinapureshop.com. Have you heard about Cape Fear's only fitness community exclusively for those over 50? At Full Circle Fitness, we understand that goals, lifestyles, and our bodies change through the decades, which is why our Living Fit After 50 is custom designed to help you get a safe, effective workout without spending hours in the gym. Get started today. Call 910-399-8350 or visit FullCircleFitnessNC.com.
Joining Big Talker Network is as easy as asking for it. Program your digital home assistants such as Google Home, Alexa, and Siri to stream Big Talker Network content by simple voice command. Enjoy convenient hands-free access to program whenever you want, however you want by asking for Big Talker.
Thank you, everybody. Believe it or not, the hour is over that we've had this week. We want to thank you for listening to us. And before we shut down, Mary, who's there next week?
And next week we will have Dr. Tony Maglione, a cardiologist, our friend from Wilmington, will join us.
He's got some great ideas to talk and share with us. In addition to that, Mary's going to take a little vacation, and Dan is probably done kissing up to Santa now because he doesn't want any of that coal. So hopefully he'll be back by next week, and we'll see what Santa puts in his stocking.
I want to say Merry Christmas to everyone. Enjoy your families.
Merry Christmas. And I'm going to hold mine till next week because we do have another show to do. But anyway,
Yakolska Day.
see you soon.
Good Yakolska Day.